Yeah, happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Dollar Hour. I got this can in my mouth.
Here's your boy Deonte Burden.
It's your boy Deonte Burden, Mr. Short Dollar, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. We got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight. What's going on? What's happening? What's up, Tom? What's going on? Got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about a subject matter that I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't really think about, and that's really balancing, risk and reward.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want that candy. Everybody want that cake. Everybody want to go down the yellow brick road and get to that buried treasure.
Right.
But they don't want to go through all the scary stuff to get there. Right? You know what I mean?
Right.
So what we're going to talk about is really just how people should be balancing risk and reward. We're going to have an awesome show. I want you guys feel free to comment. Feel free to call in and add to the conversation. Definitely want to, want everybody to chime in tonight. What's going on, Tom? Nothing much, bro. How are you? I'm fantastic. My brother, man, Tom, man, me and him stationed in Bamberg, Germany together.
Oh, okay.
Sergeant First Class Christopher Thomas. My dog. Hey, you think I remember, bro?
Right.
But yeah, man, tonight we're going to be talking about balancing risk and reward.
Okay.
It's a road a lot of entrepreneurs think about.
Uh-huh.
We start talking about the scary stuff, missing out on this and sacrifice and what you got to give up. A lot of people don't necessarily want to talk about it. And that's what we're going to cover tonight in tonight's show. Let me try to fix it with this TikTok. Y'all got to bear with me. I had got some new phones. Try to connect them all today.
Right.
And your boy not the most tech savvy.
Right.
So I boogied it up on the Android. iPhone is
it's gonna come along. It's gonna come along.
But we're gonna make it work.
We're gonna make it work.
I got the TikTok. I'm trying to get it where I want to stand up. We're gonna leave it like that. I got the whole damn ceiling and a little bit of music. Let's move it up.
Set it up straight, like man. Set it straight up, like.
But the issue with having it like this is giving me is just I can't see everybody's comment on it.
Oh, okay.
And again, tonight's show we're talking about balancing how to balance risk and reward.
Uh-huh.
Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. The main hook is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel where we cover personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. The call-in number if you want to add to the conversation is 678-740-9894. Again, the call-in number is 678-740-9894. Before we get started, I want to say what's up to my awesome producer, DJ Lamb.
What's going on, brother? Thursday.
Woo, boy, one of them days, man.
Best day of the week, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best day of the week. Giving out all this free knowledge.
Absolutely, man.
To entrepreneurs that need to take it in, soak it in, and store it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Right.
I think it's going to be a great conversation also. Also, want to say what's up to my other producer, Slick 316. What's up, Reed?
What's going on, Slick?
Hey, but yeah, we're talking about tonight in regards to how to balance risk and reward. The reason why I want to have this conversation is because so many people want to go down the road of entrepreneurship. I get phone calls all the time. Two things stop the conversation. The number one thing people call and say how much you charge.
Right.
That's click. All right.
Right.
Get the hell out of that damn phone and get talking about money. But the other thing is when people want have a vision and they say, hey, this is what I want to do. And if I open my mouth in any shape, form, or fashion, that's indifferent. Or it's different rather from what they feel like should happen and stuff. And I think a lot of times people get they go down this fairy tale about how business should go because they have that perception of what they want,
right? And
then they have their destination, a roadmap how to get there, and it's not probably going to be the best, way to go. 9 times out of 10, especially if you don't know anything about business.
Right. I get what you're saying. Yeah, we all have an idea of what we want our business to be and how successful we believe our business is going to be. So we never want to think about the negative stuff or the risk that's involved with it. So yeah,
something that's funny. We're talking about this, and again, tonight's show we're talking about how to balance risk and reward. The thing that I feel like, me being in business 23 years, one of the biggest things, I'm gonna be honest with you, Leia, that has always helped me was I had no problem hollering at my OGs.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean I always heard what I wanted to hear.
Right.
Most of the time, it was something, maybe sometimes on the line, but a lot of times it was different for what I visioned, how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say I could sit there and have a great damn debate with somebody, but I wouldn't talk to them for a reason.
Right.
And when people have access to get ready to start something, that's what throws things off a lot. Because when I say that, just kind of like they have some kind of windfall of money, suddenly start everything up.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go about the way they want to go through,
the way they think it should be done.
People get an LLC, get a business license,
mm-hmm.
Call a couple of vendors up, and hey, we're in business.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no idea whatsoever on how to project, forecast, anything that has to do with growing your business, starting a business, growing your business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to look at this TikTok and it's on the side.
Well, say hey to mama. Hey,
what's
mama.
What's going on, mama?
Hey, mama.
Mama, something wrong with my phone. So if you try to call me today, I apologize. Something wrong with my phone. Just want to let you know that. So yeah, that Android phone is out.
Okay.
So I get everything fixed by tomorrow. But I just want to let you know that, mama, if you had to try to call. But definitely, man, when we start talking about how to balance risk and reward, people really don't understand. Like there's this correlation with how much you want to give up to get here.
Right.
You can't get here just doing nominal stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we start looking at actually the input you got to put in, the sacrifices, the things you're going to have to, lumps and bumps and pains and stuff like that, there's a correlation with success in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people want to approach it like they're at work. I'm doing these things. I'm not going to kill myself. I ain't going to work too hard. I ain't going to do all this kind of stuff. And you're going to get the results of that.
Right.
But when you want to start sacrificing, missing birthdays, missing sleep, losing money, being frightened and stuff like that, that's when you start seeing things change. And the funny part about that, Lab, is what? That should still take time. That's still going to be done over a period of time. Okay. And you got to be realistic about, look, am I ready to just go through the lumps and bumps? And that's why you see a lot of times people go into it. You see that a lot with the pandemic. I want to get this new company. I want to start this restaurant. I want to get this trucking company, get this club. I want to just do these particular things. A lot of people went crazy in the transportation industry because the rates had went up so much and everything that kind of leveled back off. But so many people went into it and they knew nothing about business.
Right.
Knew nothing about business.
They just saw the reward part.
Nothing about business, nothing about logistics, nothing about forecasting, nothing about any of that stuff. But it said hit him the reward, that treasure. And unfortunately, a lot of folks, man, they sitting there holding pants over the shoestring. Right. And when you try to have a conversation with people, it's very hard because sometimes when people, like I said, again, have access, they got the money in their pocket. They feel like I got it. Right. And usually when people come to me, it's too damn late. I can't. Right. I'm an accountant. I ain't no damn magician. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you could have saw this in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Right.
But the strategy went from the beginning. Like I said, you'll be conflicting to what they feel like it, because what I'm saying is boring. It's gonna take too long.
Right. It's always
order. You know what I'm saying?
We don't hear all that.
Yeah. But I will say this before we go in depth about that. I will say this to anybody want to go into business. If you start thinking about from a simpler perspective, if you look at any Fortune 500 company, Coca-Cola, General Electric, Newell, I'm just going to go on blank, Home Depot. If you sit there and think about most of these companies have R&D, research and development. They do when they prospect, they take their time to do tests and focus groups and stuff like that to find out certain things to be feasible, plausible. They do all kind of projections and stuff like that before they spend any kind of dollar in construction. They're going to spend money prospecting, trying to figure stuff out. They don't just get money and move. You understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So it ain't just like even when we was in the military, like there had to be so much strategic planning before something is done. Okay. Like there are something, the different feelers out there. Let's try this and test that, and just to see. Right? There's nothing just. I'm just going to pray on it and close my eyes and jump off the damn.
See what happened.
Nah. Right. Like that's not. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm not saying that you have to, take some leaps of faith and do certain things, but you got to be smart about it. That's what we want to talk about. how to balance risk and reward. So we again, guys, this is the dollar hour. Feel free to leave a comment, call in. The call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, 678-740-9894. In the event you do have to leave any time point during the show, make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. You check out the video in its full entirety. Okay, regardless of what platform that you're looking at everything, right? So we start by definition. We start talking about risk. We define risk as the potential for losing time, money, or resources in pursuit of specific outcome. Again, the definition of risk is the potential for losing time, money, or resources in the pursuit of a specific outcome. So we start thinking about that, like, hey, we are actually, in other words, you'll lose something. Money, time, or whatever to get a certain thing, right?
Right.
However it's going to be. For you want to actually pursue something in life, you want to do it. You might say, okay, look, I'm going to go to college, because I want to be able to work in corporate America. I want to work in a hospital, whatever. I got to get some kind of skill set of training. I want to, sell houses. I got to set some stuff to the side to get my real estate license and stuff like that. Not knowing if you're ever going to sell a house. Not knowing if you're going to get employed by the firm you want to get employed by. Not knowing what's going to happen. But you're taking a risk by putting something out there to get a specific outcome.
I get it.
We still don't know what the outcome definitely is going to be, but we're moving that direction and putting some stuff up, right?
Right.
And that's where we start looking at it, because a lot of times it's either when we go to the store. I know if I give you $1 for a piece of bread, I'm going to get the bread.
Right.
But if I'm going to give you $1 for last mystery bread, I'm taking a risk
that it might be
it might be good, might be bad.
Right.
But if I know I'm going to get the honey wheat, I'm getting the honey wheat.
Right.
So we're taking that risk. We're doing it. But because you feel like the reward of the outcome that's going to be part of that's associated with that risk is worth it, you'll take it.
No, I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I get. So if I want to be a real estate and sell houses, and I'm going to go to real estate school, I got to pay for the school first, and I don't know if I'm going to sell one house or not.
Exactly. Exactly. So because we define reward as the potential benefit gain. Like I said, again, it might be a profit, it might be growth or market share when all that risk is paid off. Like I said, we potentially.
Right.
Potentially. Y'all remember that word? Potential. You know what I'm saying? So we always have to understand with anything that we want to actually, we start looking at that balancing act. When I'm here and I want to get there, there's some things going to be taken. And it's not a right or wrong thing, but I will say this. You can't have expectations of taking risks. And I apologize to anybody on TikTok. I'm trying to go back and forth because I have the camera turned a certain way. But feel free to leave your comments in the chat. Same thing with Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. But we started talking about those particular things. People, you want to be at this destination. You want your business to grow. But there's some things. You hit what's the whole adage? You take money to make money.
Right.
And a lot of times that's true, but there's a lot of other stuff. It might take your time. It may, and that time being stuff you away from other things. You may be in a situation where you got to miss things that are very important to you. That might be time with your family, time working out, just a lot of stuff, man. And you have to really just be realistic about, can I make the commitment to be doing certain things that's going to be associated with it.
Right.
Because I think a lot of times when people get knee deep into stuff, that's when they realize, like, hey, this is more than what I want.
Right.
And that could be anything when we start talking about this. Because again, we're talking about how to balance risk and reward. People have to be realistic about where they are, what they're trying to do, and what's going to take to get there. And you know what happens, Larry? What I felt that people kind of shy away from situations where they can actually find out what it takes.
I was just about to ask you that. Do you think people even find out what it like? Do the research to figure out what it takes, or do you think they just jump in feet first and just say, roll the dice, say, let's see what happens? What
I feel from experience, I feel like people go the path of the least, I won't say the least resistance, the least pain. And what I mean by that, when we start talking about want to go down, people want to get ideas and information that's common to how they feel and want to go about things.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you say, hey man, it's a good business, good, you make a lot of money. Oh man, no, don't worry about that stuff happening. You'll be good, you'll be fine. And okay, cool, man, because you're getting some kind of assurance,
that it's gonna be good.
That's gonna be okay.
Okay.
But then sometimes you give somebody's gonna be brutal on. It's like you can have some success here, but this and that can happen, and like that doesn't necessarily happen, right? When I went into the military, I remember, the recruiters telling you, "Hey, man, you gonna get money," which was true. You get money for school, you can do this, get your GI Bill, the VA loan, all that kind of stuff, which was true. But he's like, "Yeah, because my thing, I want to go to school, in the military too. Yeah, you have time to go to school." But I started talking to people that was actually, recently getting out of, some folks that I knew that was in. Like, man, depending what unit you go to,
right?
May or may not, maybe in the field or stuff like that. So give me brutal honesty. I didn't like it because it kind of, what the recruiter told me felt good, right? It was kind of going in line with what I was thinking. But I'm talking to people that give me true game and stuff like that. Now I got this information. Now I can sit here and process it, and I can make a decision based off that. You feel me?
I get what you're saying.
But a lot of times people don't want to hear that because now you hate, right? You want to actually get into the tax business, right? Okay, tax folks make a lot of money, but you got to get you some customers, make some money.
What you might have to do some marketing, and
you got to be real. You got to do all kind. One thing about the tax business, just be straight up with people. You have to be realistic about the actual growth. If you're gonna do it the right way, I'm talking about legitimate, nothing illegal. You got to be realistic that everybody's not gonna be quick to want to give that person information,
right?
Especially people that are close to you.
Most
especially
definitely.
People that are close to you. So you have to sit here and say, like, look, I have a staggered approach. So many this year, so many that, and you still, while you're still learning the business, how to market, how to advertise, how to actually run processes, and everything like that. But we start telling people that kind of stuff. No, I do it.
Right.
I've had more people. I would say 80% of people that come to me the first year to do taxes, they leave the next year. Because they figure it's easy than what it is, right? But then they get out there, they spend all their money, and they ass out of business. Because you understand?
Right.
It's like you go to your job, and like, oh, I can do this stuff with my eyes closed. But you don't realize how much stuff you don't deal with.
Right.
You don't pay overhead, you don't market, you don't advertise, you don't actually have to worry about paying taxes, or insurance, and all that kind of stuff that's associated with the business. But if you get out there, like, damn, it's a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when it hits a lot of people. But again, when people hear things that are kind of objective to how they view things and stuff like that, they just get abrasive with it. And that's just how that goes, man. And so again, when we're talking about how to balance risk and reward, I just want to get those quick definition of both risk and reward. And what I want people to understand, we'll start talking about first is really how to assess the risk in business.
Okay.
And one of the things I always say, this is what I always look at every time you want to go into business, guys. It's just free tidbits. I charge a lot of money for some of the stuff that I'm finna discuss. But here's the deal. I want people to really, really pay attention. If you really want to go down the road of entrepreneurship, kind of got 3 phone calls this week. Hey man, I see your videos on YouTube, this, that, and that. I want to start a business. And I know each one of them people called, they don't know shit about business. So you want to get some money to really you might want to just get some money from a grant and set that shit on fire. Because what I'm saying is, like, they had no clue. Like, they had an idea what they wanted to do with the money.
Right.
But they had no idea what to do in business. Right?
I get what you're saying.
And so what I just want everybody to understand, that's why we're having this conversation. Understand that when we start talking about having a business, successful business, right? Successful business, whatever goal you want to have, you want to create financial freedom. You want to build a legacy. You want to get out the plantation. Whatever your aspiration is, you still got to do it right. Right? You still got to do it right. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because everybody stuck the toe into it. When we talking about just doing it, it's extremely difficult. And so we talking about how to balance risk and reward. It's just, first we got to be able to assess the risk in the business. And one of the first things I always tell people to do, when you initially want to start a business, think about doing a business. The easiest thing is what? The pros of what they're doing the business. I can make money. I can do this. I got some kind of skill set. What I challenge people to do is write down all the damn reasons you don't want to do that business. But I can't think of that.
The cons first. Write the cons first.
Yeah, and focus on it. Focus on it. Call research.
So start negative and go positive.
Well, I don't want to use the word negative.
Okay.
But the reason probably you wouldn't do it, or the actual, we're talking about assessing risk. What could be the issue? I don't have enough money to sustain this business. For I just have enough to sustain it, just get it started. Right. I can't run it for a couple of months. I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough human capital. What I mean by human capital, that means I only know so much, and I only have so many people that are around me that can actually help me. Let me give you an example of that. What you about to say, Larry?
I was going to say, do you dang it, it's just in my mind when you go ahead. Go ahead, finish what you. It'll come back to me.
What I was saying, when assessing people around you, let's say you want to have you like a high-end, a premium restaurant. Okay. In Atlanta, every day everybody want one. But you having a challenge of finding high-end premium people that actually work as servers in that. You having a challenge with not only getting people they can be warm greeters and all this kind of stuff. You having a challenge with actually having the funds to get them trained. You having a challenge to be having enough money to be able to pay them because there's different levels you're gonna be paying somebody doing certain things, right?
Especially high end.
Yeah, especially you start dealing on the constant rate level and all that other kind of stuff. You gotta have you gotta pay for, and the level of training gotta be different, right? That's when we start talking about human capital as far as what you know and the actual people you can have come in. Like, so you gotta be able to be realistic about it. Where you're located at, what certain things that will be the shortcomings, right? You might be on certain a main highway with a median. There's most of the traffic come. Your business or restaurant is on the side where people are leaving, and you mostly gonna get like the morning traffic, or will they make a U, or most of the time is the evening traffic. All this stuff matters,
right? It does.
So you gotta be realistic about those kind of things, and not to stop you, but you gotta say, okay, I can find ways to mitigate that. Okay, so that's not gonna be that, and not you feel, not you hope, not you pray, not you think. No. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what we said. We got to first assess the risk. You got to assess all the risks that's going to be associated with doing that, and you got to sit there and look at everything from, like I said, operational standpoint, a marketing standpoint, your money standpoint. So many people get in businesses, and they get usually enough to start. They don't borrow enough to run.
Right.
And you need to be in a situation where you got at least bare minimum enough cash flow or cash reserve to be or available credit to sustain at least 6 months, preferably a year of business. That be able to cover all your overhead. You do not need to start a business and your ass finding shit out as you go.
But that's generally how we do it, right? Let me ask you a question. I don't even see all this stuff you're talking about. Like we talked about this before in a couple of other shows previously. Accessing the risk is one of them things that most business people, most entrepreneurs don't do because they feel that will, what they call it, that's giving them, that's making them not want to do it. I guess what you're saying. And most of the time when you start a business, you're gung-ho about it. You're excited about the possibilities and opportunities, especially when you got people in your ear telling you, you know what, I ain't never seen nobody, design shoes like you did. You really need to have your own shoes designing business. And you got 15, 20 people telling you this. Then you jump into, then somebody said, man, I'll finance you your shoe designing business. All you got to do is just find you a spot. So now you like, okay, cool. So now you got the finances. A lot of times when that stuff comes to you in that way, or you have people telling you that way, you might have your own money and you start, a lot of times you don't think about, well, man, what if I can't find the shoes I need? Or what if I can't get the supplies I need to design the shoes? You don't think about that stuff yet. You usually don't think about that stuff until you start doing the business. Or you don't find out about that stuff until you're in business. I know you just said don't find about these things and when you're in the midst of doing business, but that's generally when people do it.
And that's generally why people fail.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, let me say something to you, and I live by this. There's no excuse for ignorance.
Okay.
You're not going to know everything.
Right.
But you can take the time to figure stuff out. When you want to go buy a house, you're going to find out what all I got to do to buy a house.
Right.
When you want to go and get employed, you're going to find what all qualifications, things they want, to go do that. The problem that comes up when I say people, reason why people don't come to me from the get-go, there's no barrier to entry.
Right.
Was speaking to me. What I mean, I'm talking about to an accountant or consultant. Most of the time, at the bare minimum, they probably have to go to an insurance guy, architects, lawyers, accountants usually get skipped.
Mm-hmm.
You might got to get some kind of insurance because this depends on what kind of bid you
Right.
have. They may need that and stuff like that. But there's no barrier to entry, so you still can start the business. So without having an accountant, without having legal contracts and all this stuff, you can people think they can Google it and have all kind of loopholes.
Print it out.
You know what I'm saying? So those kind of things, you know, because they're accessible and they don't stop stuff, they don't have to do it. But at the end of the day, you got to sit here and say to yourself, if I'm going to sit here and risk my 401k or risk this, that, and that just because you think it's going to happen, I mean, how intelligent is that?
Right. And
I don't give a damn how you take shit.
Right.
Because here's the deal, Lab, man. What the gentleman called the other day, and he was talking about the grants. And this is true. It was yesterday or the day before. He called me and I said, hey, man, you know, I was talking about the grants. I was like, realistic. Like, we give out information regarding the grants. We're not associated with it, but grants are very hard to get because there's a lot of you out there. Because we know what, theoretically, no one wants to pay money back.
Right.
But I said, hey, man, you know, you maybe get your SBA counselor. That's free. I said, have you talked to your actual local business banker and stuff? I got tons of videos on that on YouTube. I said, have you called, you know, talked to a banker? He said, man, I don't know if you know, but this country is poor. And I said, yeah, but a damn banks ain't poor.
Right.
You got to stop making barriers.
I get what
like,
what that got to do with the bank?
What you call them?
Right.
The banks ain't poor. Call them. But because people want to do things the way they want to do it, like nobody's going to get, I'm just saying.
They get in their own way.
Well, they get in their own way and they also hurt themselves more than anything because I love entrepreneurship. I love the whole thought of it. But that's why we do. That's why they are doing this stuff here now,
right,
for free. I love people having success and doing stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm always gonna be brutal with folks. That shit ain't easy,
right?
And when you think, okay, I got like to your point, that's usually what happens. People say I like it. They got traction. You know, they's like, hey, I'm making this kind of money and thinking, okay, if I go get a spot, I might can do more. But that's the other side of it. Now, okay, can you cover overhead?
Right.
That'd be your rent, utilities, insurance. Maybe got some people. You go get some equipment. And a lot of times people don't think when you turn around and start buying equipment, machines, all this other kind of stuff, you actually got to make all that money back. All that money back for you. Those
plus your regular operating costs.
You start looking at it like, okay, we're being profitable. That ain't how that goes. Unless you done got it financed or whatever. But most of the time people go into it with credit challenges, with money challenges, and they spend and buying for some reason because they don't understand business leverages and stuff. I'm gonna buy everything. So you don't spend $18,000-$20,000 on all kind of equipment and stuff like that, and that money is gone. Right, it's gone, and you got to sit here and work all this time back just to even recoup that kind of money back.
And not even seeing if it's equipment, saying like, can I lease that? And if I lease it, maybe they'll have a maintenance plan for me, whatever. Certain things, like a lot of things you people think that people own the stuff that they doing business with. A lot of times, sometimes it be leased. They be leasing that stuff and they get it switched out every couple of years for one, and they get the people will repair it while it's on lease. You get what I'm saying? Those are costs that people don't think about.
Oh, well, also the flip side of it, you can get it financed where you can depreciate the asset, and also you can write off the interest on the loan. I mean, it's things you can do, right? But your cash flow, you'd rather be out of $50,000. You'd rather be out of $50,000 in equipment, or just paying $300 to $500 a month on the loan payment. You see what I'm saying? Right, I get what you're saying. You gotta be smart about certain stuff.
I think the adrenaline takes over though when like we was talking about earlier, how people they got traction. Everybody telling them, yeah, people telling me I'm gonna give you the money for it, and then they put the money in their account. The adrenaline takes over, and the research drops to the bottom.
Where the hell that adrenaline go when you actually got no money in the bank?
That's not the point.
Where that adrenaline go?
We ain't see. That's what I'm telling you. Human behavior is we ain't think about that part. I got all this traction. I got all this money. All these people telling me that I'm gonna make something.
And short dollar hate.
Right.
Oh, listen.
Mr. Short Dollar is hating on me.
You do not want to put yourself in a position where you like, okay, I want to start this. I got everything going. We got social media buzz and everything going, and shit. 6 months into it, like, man, we ain't got no money.
Especially in the day of social media.
Yeah, I'm right, because now you got 10,000 likes and everybody liking your stuff, but you ain't got $10,000 in your bank.
You know who got one good example of that? That Pink Sauce. No, she was riding that social media high. It was some lady made some Pink Sauce to do something, and she was riding that social media like she got more pink sauce. She made blue sauce and everything.
Sauce?
It's some kind of sauce. I don't know what it is, but
I know.
Still
in business now?
No.
Oh,
you get. That's what I'm going with. Like she had the buzz, like the buzz.
Yeah, math is math.
Right.
At the end of the day, like you liking my stuff, you supporting me. You know, just
and people were buying stuff, but what she didn't do is the research on how it was gonna make people feel.
Really?
So she mixing this stuff together and making pink sauce, and everybody telling her how great it tastes, but nobody told her, and this is allegedly, but I heard her allegedly, but ain't nobody tell her how it felt, like how it made him feel as far as sick or whatever. So that became her downfall. We were talking about not doing the research to figure out the risk of doing this business. You get what I'm saying? The risk of doing, you put something on social media. We talk about social media. You put something on social media, it get 100 million likes, and everybody trying to buy it. You like forget that other part.
Right, go back to what we were talking about, just having them testers out there,
right?
And we start talking about assessing risk. You got to put things out there. Just really, isn't nothing wrong, like I said, putting that toe in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're sitting there saying, okay, cool, is this needed? Is there, you do that, your basic business plan where you got your SWOT analysis, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Finding out, okay, cool, is there a market for this? Like what is the competition doing? Are they doing this much better? Can we combat it? Do we have a niche for it? You assessing everything, any kind of shortcoming you got. You're actually looking at, okay, we do this. How long is it going to be sustainable? Is it just a trend or whatever and everything? I smoke cigars all the time. I really do believe most of I feel like we on the outside curve of a lot of these black-owned cigar spots, glove spots.
Right.
I think is going to go back to the traditional ones, like when I first started smoking, just go in there and smoke.
That's it.
But the whole club thing, this, that, and
no
that.
music and DJ is going to be in that place.
I think it'd be more so maybe have a little room allocated for people to smoke. Because again, I think a lot of times people just wasn't really thinking. Cigar costs maybe from a distributor $10. You can only charge $15 for it. You can't charge necessarily $20 or however the markup is.
Right.
You got to be able to sell those and whatever that profit that you had, be it $3 to $5, whatever. Can you sell enough of those to cover your costs?
Or you have something else that you can sell to offset that cost?
Well, that's the thing about it. But when you start talking about the cigar spot now, when you selling clothes, but that's what thing. If you got a restaurant, but even with a restaurant, what is food? What 3 to 5%? On top of it, so that ain't too profitable. I say all that to say, can you sell enough of those to cover costs? And a lot of times people don't think about it.
Right.
Sad Place BR says social media is not directly linked to actual sales. See musicians, ego have millions of likes and can't sell out arenas. Musicians, okay, I got that. No, I got your point with that. I really don't think a lot of times people, what we talk about before, people get traffic confused with profits. They busy. My mama said that all the time. They doing good. They doing good for mama. I'm not saying somebody doing bad,
right?
But I'm the man that deal with folks' numbers,
right?
It can be busy. But the cost to stay busy is bigger than the money they got coming in.
Right.
And a lot of folks don't do that because they'll see something. I get it. You got to tell everybody your business, but everybody gonna be transparent. Hey, lad, how everything? Oh, we doing good. We doing good.
Right.
But then you okay? But shit, steal his idea. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, we done noticed over the years, man. Everybody, mama had to get the podcast.
Right.
So at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when you start going into the YouTuber podcast, people find out very, very, very quickly. Listen, man, you ain't gonna be able to make so much money. Now, when you gotta build a following,
right?
And if you ain't gonna be consistent enough to build a following, how you gonna make money? I done got this place with all these folks can rent out podcast stuff. After a month or two, most people gonna say this ain't doing it.
Right
now, I'm leaving.
Right
now, same thing. Barbershop, beauty salons, whatever. If a person ain't really making no money, I'm gone. I'm gone. And you're constantly looking for it. And
nobody wants to steady keep going and know that risk is that you're not going to make no money right now off this podcast thing.
Well, the person that actually got the facility with all these studios and bought all this equipment, they find it out. Damn, because they thinking, okay, man, I heard all these shows talking about $1,000,000 in podcasting, $1,000,000 in YouTube, but people got, like you said, got to sustain a certain level, a certain period to be able to do certain things, and when it don't happen, they quit. And that person that owns the place, got to start over again. I was this shit all the time when I had a salon. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just it. I had to find what my people look like. If you worked at my salon, this how you had to look.
Right.
When I say look, I'm talking about they were all like I would say 35 to 55, been in the business 10, 15 years. They had a established clientele because again, I didn't have a lot of. I knew what was there, what I needed to, so I don't have to keep starting over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So those kind of things, I think people had to, when we start talking about assessing risk, you got to look at things in a certain light. You got to look at stuff worst case scenario. Like if I put this stuff up, what's the worst can happen? And you say, look, man, you might have this capital investment, and you lose all this money. I was talking to my dog yesterday. About a group of us went in, bought a house in Decatur. All of us put about, it was like $28,000 altogether. We put in, got the house. It foreclosed in a couple months. Right. And the reason why is because we really didn't do a good assessment of what we were doing, going into it. Now, I've actually had tons of success dealing with properties before. Right. But in that, I didn't assess the situation. Right. No, I ain't finna say nobody swindled me or anything like that, but I definitely didn't.
The cost of repairs and all that.
Well, not even the cost of repair, more so like that process. Because when you actually get into real estate investing, you find out real quick. Like that, them shows got you messed up. Code got to come out. Okay, we're gonna check the electric. We're gonna come out a month later. We might check the plumbing. Come out a month later, and God forbid they find something. Right now, they gotta come back, and you gotta give them their schedule. Come back and check that. They go back. All the money you got your hard money. All the time you got a hard money loan. Right. You steady paying all this, man. Listen.
Them shows got you messed up.
Listen. Don't mess with that shit if you don't know what you're doing. Right. I'm just saying you better get. Hey, and you know what? I knew better. And that's why I'm sitting here saying that when a lot of times people start talking about that risk and reward, we knew if we got to fix how much money potential we could have made. Right. But the risk and stuff like, looking over certain things. So you have to make sure that when you're assessing the risk that's associated with a particular business, you be honest with yourself. What is the community like where you want to have this restaurant or this club? Right. Is a club near there? I mean, a school near there? Are there churches near there? What the laws be? There are plenty of times people have bought buildings. I'm gonna buy this building and I'm gonna put this in there. And when you buy it and you want to go put this in there, it's not zoned for it. Exactly. And they're like, what you mean? And you don't know anybody on the city council. You don't know nobody at the code. They can they maybe can work with you and all this kind of stuff. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. You might get a certain area. You might open your restaurant at. Got a lot of foot traffic and businesses. Next thing you know, the next year, a strip mall get built. Right. And everybody's going there because that's a new flashy place. Right. Right.
And you don't know if this, man. Me being in real estate with strip malls and stuff, people don't realize how that impacts the area. You might be a small shop, but if the strip mall comes in and builds a building and blocks your sign, oh my God, that's terrible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't compete. Savage Bliss PR said young and old confuse likes with validation. Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
What we say, what you say all the time, you said, don't get the likes confused with support. No. Because people come in and say, my family, F my family, ain't supporting that.
All the time you find your friends and family is who support you. People support you. Right. It's just not support you want. Right. They like your stuff, share your stuff and everything like that, but ain't nobody spending bread. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be realistic, right? When you're doing certain things, what can you sell enough to people that actually gonna buy it, not people that like you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because people can be hyped, about you doing stuff. Because your family, friends, they, in general, they usually care about you having some kind of success and stuff like that.
I think people can't use. I like you say they on that curve of cigar bars and restaurants and club type deal. I believe that a lot of people, I believe that social media is on that curve too, because everybody's trying to go viral. So it's not the same as it was when it first started. So if you're trying to use social media to exploit your business or to gain customers, I don't think that pathway for that is there anymore.
I don't necessarily think social media. This is my personal opinion. I don't necessarily know if social media is that. I think, and I don't know, but I think new platforms like, you had your MySpace, and you might have your Black Planet, your MySpace, you might have your Facebook, then you got your Instagram, then you got your TikTok, like that's your impact.
Right.
Certain things,
but I still believe that, and I get what you're saying. New platforms may be taking that possibility for your business to blow up away, but at the same time, I believe that with so many people on these platforms and everybody on the platform, all of us trying to go viral and get that business to millions and millions of followers and millions of likes, I believe the curve for that type of success, we're going around it now because everybody's trying to do it. It's just not the place to. It's just not. It's not the availability for doing it because everybody sees it. I'm gonna give you a good example. We've been doing Misfits Radio on TV for 8 years now, going on 9 years. We've had a social media presence probably, if not 8 of the 9 years, at least 7 of the 9 years. And on Instagram right now, we can't get over 3,327 people. Yeah. And this is for the last 2 years it's been like that. Yeah. Because even though we have great shows, everybody does great shows, we have great content, we do great things. We don't do the mess on here, but we do great things. It's just not because everybody sees it and everybody's like, nah.
Market's saturated.
Right. The market's so saturated with stuff.
Yeah. But no. And you know what, lad? That's a great point. That's great. That's somebody put that somebody on Instagram.
Yeah, that's Southside Miko. He was talking about the pink sauce earlier, and he said it was great until it started changing people's colors. Angela Butt says, "Hey,
who that?
Angela Butt.
Hey, what's going on, Angela? How you doing?
Burden.
How you doing, Angela? Again, tonight we're talking about how to balance risk and reward in business, and we just went through a couple things on how to assess risk in business. But now I want to just talk about a couple things tools you can use to manage uncertainty. Okay. And one of the key things is just like we said before, just do some market research. Spend a little time on the front end. Because that's what I said before, man. If you start when you start talking to Fortune 500, those companies are there because they have that sustainability, whatever. And they look like they're the slow moving giants or whatever. But at the end of the day, you can model certain things at your level to see and say, well, let me do some kind of market research. Let me just see. What's wrong with going out there? You go to Sam's or Costco's, what happened? They got the little sausage out there cooked. Hey, get your little toothpick fried.
Yeah.
Most time we hungry as hell. We eating about 3 or 4 of that shit. Let me get another one.
Go into the bread section. Make a sandwich out of it.
There you go. But at the end of the day, what they're doing, they're trying to decide, where we're gonna have this, where we're gonna stock it. This is the new one. They're testing it. They're like, they didn't get good feedback.
Right.
So those kind of things where you sit there and do that, you see people have focus groups and they prospect certain things out there. That's why I've been places. What was the Coke that we're pushing out back in the spring with the cinnamon flavor Coke? It was cinnamon flavor for Coke, but I seen a couple guys like, hey man, grab a couple cans, just try it out. But they do that a lot of times, just roll out different people, just get tested, get a feel with certain stuff. They do that maybe certain times with different products, alcohol, food, and stuff like that. The new Coke, the cherry Coke, whatever. People they'll do that to kind of, after they've done some research, trial and error, we'll just put so much out there and see how that goes. And I think you should do the same thing with your business. Let me just see what's going on and be realistic and be okay if the thing that you like, don't work. I love making key lime cakes.
Okay.
I love it, but nobody like it. They love my red velvet.
Okay.
But that's probably my least favorite.
Right.
But everybody go crazy about my red velvet.
Right.
I can get in my feelings and be like, I want y'all to try. Yeah. But at the end of the day, money talk. Right. I say this all the time, guys. I got a lot of information.
You do.
But I'm not in love with any damn grant videos.
Right.
Like, we got a lot of stuff dealing with all kind of things that can help entrepreneurs be successful. But if the market wants grant videos, I'm gonna make more grant. I'm still gonna do my other stuff.
Right.
But if the market is demanding it, I'd be a fool to sit here and tell you one thing and then I live by my words, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I have a whole lot more to give to the world than videos about free grants.
Most definitely.
But with that said, you gotta be realistic. Like, okay, what I'm gonna keep arguing, folks to keep doing that. No, but you got to do that market research just to find. Again, we're talking about ways to manage uncertainty, prototyping testing. That's the thing about it. When I was in grad school, it was a big thing. People, a lot of the companies, especially coming out of what is that in San Francisco? That's Simi Valley.
You mean Silicon Valley?
Silicon Valley,
right.
Silicon Valley. A lot of those tech companies where they free thinking companies do a lot of prototyping testing. A lot of places where just like a canister, like holding this, putting the grooves on for better gripping. The way certain cell phones and toothbrushes are made, they do those prototypes just to say, because just to see, okay, is it better to grip it this way or whatever. A lot of the newer companies we have in life are done, because prototyping testing has been rolled out. The way your seats fit your body, the way jackets are made, certain things are done because you just put things out there, see if it works. And again, be okay with the feedback, because again, your vision and things didn't work out. It wasn't there.
Right.
But you put a couple feelers out there to see. This is scenario planning. If we do this and it works, great. If we do this and it doesn't work, again, this is our plan B. Have those contingent plans. Contingent plans are just plans you have in place just in case something goes wrong, got to change, right? Got to do that all the time in the military. Go this way. This is what we plan on doing. If it don't work, just this way. If that don't work, go this way. You have to do that. Just like I thought it was a great comment. One day, the guy, he's the defense coordinator for the Miami Hurricanes, and he said it best. The football coach, he said, typically when they go into a football game, the offense, you as a defensive coordinator, the offense does something totally different from what you guys have, practiced on, what you normally do.
Right.
And then you may try to make adjustments to this new thing that they're doing to you. And then that second half, when you've kind of made adjustments to that, they come back with the thing that you practiced on all week. So you got to be able to sit here and have your plan B, plan C, plan D, because things going to change.
Right.
Things going to change. Laws going to change. The weather going to change. A lot of stuff. Vendors go in and out of business. Vendors' prices change. Like I said, different codes and rules and all that kind of stuff. You got to be prepared. You have to be prepared. So have those scenarios set up in place. And also what we call risk mitigation strategy. Risk mitigation strategy. Try to make the impact of any kind of loss as small as possible. Like you get insurance. Okay. You get insurance, to cover this and cover that. Okay, so if I take an L, I got some kind of reimbursement in place. You want to have things, where you have emergency vendors, emergency suppliers. You got at the school system, they got sub teachers. Teacher sick, teacher get pregnant, unhappy. They call substitutes. Those are when we start talking about risk mitigation. We're trying to lower the risk, much risk, because we know things can happen. Right. You're not devastating that could be if all the teachers just go on strike.
Most definitely.
Okay, so
I've been through a school strike when I was in school.
So we're gonna stop school? No, we're gonna bring subs in. Like the NFL had the referees went on strike. They had replacement refs. Now the quality may drop, may not, but at the end of the day, you still gotta have stuff in place. What's the old adage? One monkey don't stop the show. Right. So you have to really put yourself in a position, and you gotta be forward thinking with this, guys. You gotta be forward thinking. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a business owner, you gotta be realistic. Everything fall on you. That's the difference between you going to work. Well, something go wrong. Hey, y'all call the tech guy. Right. Hey, y'all call the plumber. Your ass got to do that. That's while doing everything else, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's entrepreneurship. Right. All that comfort zone. What we always say, you can't have a freedom entrepreneur, but you want to secure it over 9 to 5. Right. You can't do it. Right. You can't do it. So those are things we want to have in place. So we start talking about tools you can have to manage uncertainty. Next, again, guys, we're talking about how to balance risk and reward in business. If you got any comments, you want to call in, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. Now, I'm going to give you guys some strategies. These are some strategies you can take. We did before. We just talked about a couple of tools you can have in place to kind of when you're prospecting about certain things, doing it. And these are some strategies that you can help you balance risk and reward.
Okay.
And one of the first things is, guys, start small. Start small. You do not have to get the brick and mortar. You do not have to get the restaurant. You don't have to do that. You can get your kiosk. You can get your food truck. You can get your little hot dog stand. And you sitting there learning this, that, and that, and we're doing it. And at some point, we say justified, cool. But you got to understand, guys, everybody does not have to be elite, platinum, global, majestic. You know
I can't show my friends my great business if I'm not in the spot. If I don't have a storefront with my sign and my name on the and lights. I don't know what you're talking about. Starting small. This short dog. Hey, I really need a big space with a lot of you know what I'm saying. When I bring my family, I want them to see how successful I am, and the only way they can do that is by looking at this beautiful, beautiful space.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day,
that's human behavior, right?
Well, that can be human behavior, but at the end of the day, those same people ain't gonna help you. Because let me tell you something. I'm from a loving family. I really do, in my heart, believe most of my family, majority, I would say maybe 99% of my family, want me to do well. Mm-hmm. But I can say this too. I don't think the majority of my family, if stuff go wrong, they can help me. They want to help me, right? But they can't help me, right? You understand what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna have no $5, $100 problem. I'm right. $10, $20, $30,000 problem, and I don't think I'm gonna have access to that kind of help. So when they say I can't worry about that. Now, if you want, just people to feel, you want to feel proud of yourself, and you want to do that, Mike Jones, back then they did, you know what I'm saying? Right. You can't do that. You want to have that look at me now and all that kind of stuff attitude. That's on you. Right. That's on you. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm telling you that shit don't work. It don't work because again, when we start talking about sustainability, you got to be realistic about certain things. So just start off small. Start off small. Work it. That's why I would say with the tax business. Those first couple of years, get your handful of clients. Right. Learn it. Learn how to talk to people. Next year, kind of grow it. Grow it. And after a while, that's fine. Rome wasn't built in one day. Right. And your super empire ain't either. One of the worst things that can happen to people is what? They have immediate success because they don't really understand how difficult that stuff is. And when you have this kind of success, it crashes because you little trend. You know what I'm saying? Right. You little trend. You know what I'm saying? It was hot, cool, this, that, and that, but it's not sustainable. Right? You know what I'm saying? I get it. Let's keep it real. How many folks? Look how many juicy crab places are there now, as opposed to what it was. Let's say what, maybe 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it ain't that many. It ain't that many no more. It ain't that many. Right. It was hot. It was hot. I remember they had built one in McDonald's. This one brother, he was the owner. He was standing out there. He had that damn fool country ass. He had a tuxedo on. He was like the kind that Benson Dubois used to wear on Benson with a cat tail. He was like a damn fool just standing out there. Hello, I'm the owner. He had it was a cat tail on his tuxedo. Right. I said, look at but you remember it though. Man, no, he looked like Benson. No, but you remember what he had on. That's what I'm saying. That was his marketing ploy. Nah, he was Bojangles. He wasn't that about marketing. You should have seen it, Lamb. You should see. He had a damn. He looked just like Benson. And look just like Benson. A lot of people ain't gonna know who Benson. He went back with the Benson. He like a damn butler. But I say all that to say, it is not playing on nobody, but juice grab is a trend. Right. You still have a couple of them is there and there, but I mean, not as many as you did. Whole euphoria of getting, crabs and potatoes and stuff in a damn bag, it ain't what it used to be. Right. So that way we start talking about sustainable stuff. You just made that part of your damn other menu. So right. Now, they fade away. We ain't on them, and the Asians and some other Asians took over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we have to be realistic about it. We got something sustainable, a trend, or we're mixing the trend in with something that's sustainable. You got to be kind of looking at that. Leverage your calculated risk. Explain, what we got to look at is with careful planning, how we can do certain things. Like if I sit there and say to myself, we said leverage calculated risk. When you sit there and plan, what we can have, but we scale it out. We know how things are going to be. We've done the research. I'm actually going to have different things in place where we're making money off. We got this loan, we got everything set up, and I'm trying to think of a good example top of my head when I'm running my mouth. But when you start leveraging calculated risk, you're actually looking at things that when you actually plan on it, you look at the upside, downsides, and stuff like that, and you got everything as far as the mitigating the loss to cover certain stuff. We call it in the finance world just hedging.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Hedging your bets.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of that come in different ways you can do that. You can actually have certain things in place where you a lot of times not necessarily having all your eggs in one basket.
Okay.
You selling burgers. You got you may have 5 different ones. You may have a quarter pounder. You might got a Big Mac. You might got a single cheese and stuff like that. So when one's hot, it's hot. When one's not, it's not. But something else picking up.
Right.
I was when I was younger in business, one of the things that OG told me, he said, what he said, what was the adage? What was the thing? What he said? The master of none, the owner of many, the owner of many, master of none.
Right.
Because I had the cleaning service, had the salon, we had the tag business, we were doing the landscaping and all that stuff. But he was just saying that I was doing so much, I wasn't mastering anything.
Right.
The issue with that was, and I'm glad I am the way I am. That was true. I wasn't. But when shit got slow on one, I had money coming in somewhere else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I didn't have a tenant in my house, I had some money coming from here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, so thank God I had that.
Right. You had a balance.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not saying you had to have so much. I was fortunate enough. I was making a decent amount of money at my job. I could cover a lot of stuff, right? So it helped with my learning curve. But when we started talking about it, we started trying to hedge certain things. Well, this is up, this may be down, maybe balancing or whatever. And being realistic, why is this down? Is it down something you got control of? Now, you don't want to have something down because you're not touching it.
Right.
Or you're not dealing with it, right? It may just be because of that cycle. You know what I'm saying? This sun is popping in the summer, but it's not going to be slow in the winter, right?
Right.
So that's kind of how it was with the landscaping business, right? Spring and summer, we're making money. Hit the fall, winter, it's dropping, right? So nobody really want to do anything, but I'm making money over here. Having those kind of things in place, we start talking about, having them calculated risk where you hedging things, you have things in place where, one up, one down, looking at those, the risk reward ratio. Like, okay, listen, if I put in 5 of these, I should know how much more, I should make back. If I put in 5, I want 15.
Right.
Give you a perfect example, like, I remember, I've done plenty of different, in business. I've actually done different shows and stuff like that where we had the venues. Just say you have a gala or a venue, you made between renting the hall, paying for the sound people, security and all that stuff. It may cost you $30,000.
Okay.
Right.
You
done got your act and all that stuff, $30,000. And then you turn around and sell $50,000 in tickets. So cost me 30, sold $50,000 a ticket. I made 20 grand. Right?
Right.
But it been times you sit there and say to yourself, like, look, we can sit here and do 2 or 3 raffles and sell these tickets for $10. And you might turn around and still make what? 20 grand.
20 grand. Yeah.
And it may cost me $3,000.
Right.
To actually get certain things
in place.
Buy tickets, buy 10 TVs, buy tickets, to sell people a raffle,
right,
and make $20,000.
Right.
So we start talking about that risk to reward ratio. Like, why am I spending $30,000 to make $20,000?
Right.
Some people look at that's a success for making a profit, right?
Right.
But in my mind, that short dollar stuff, and I'm telling you, man, I bump heads with people a lot of times. Why the hell we gonna spend that? We could have did something cheaper than that, right?
And can make the same amount.
Everybody don't see it the way I see it. But
Okay.
You get my whole point. So we start talking about it. There should be something in place where you say, look, if I'm gonna put out this, I at least want to make that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because the actual time, the time that you're taking to do certain stuff, man, like, I can't get that back.
Right.
I can't get that back.
People don't add the time.
And again, like, that $30,000, man, you know how dangerous that is. What if you don't sell 20? What if you sell 40? What if you sell 30? You breaking even.
Or what if you sell 10?
Yeah, exactly. And it happens.
Right.
It happens, man. Right. I'm telling you, it happens. So you gotta just be realistic about that number you're trying to get. And that's when we start talking about, again, that front end analysis where you sit down, I can project. Now I hope, I think that I wish, okay, cool. We good for these many tickets. Mm-hmm. We know we can get this, right? We got idea. We got these folks that we feel comfortable with selling this. Mm-hmm. History has shown us we got data to be able to do that. But you hoping and praying and stuff, about. Be careful.
Right.
Be careful with that stuff. Again, we're talking about how to balance risk and reward in business. And guys, anybody call in, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, the call in number 678-740-9894. Anybody got any comments, anything like that? And that came in. And one thing, kind of want to just we kind of wind it down with to the point what Lad was saying in regards to just, that thinking process, looking at the psychological perspective of people feeling good. Guys, you got to have emotional intelligence. You have to be smart enough to understand how I feel, how I think, how I wish, how I pray. It's not reality. You got to be smart enough to understand what, when somebody's giving you actual solid business advice, they're not hating. I'm going to give you a perfect example. You go through let's say somebody going through any kind of litigation, and they got a defense attorney, or you getting sued. Like, your lawyer probably gonna tell you some stuff that you definitely don't want to hear.
Right.
Lawyer get paid regardless.
Right.
And he working for you.
Right.
Well, you probably best. Hell, I went through a divorce, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But my lawyer at the end of the day she was getting paid no more, no less. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, sometimes we got to sit here and say to ourselves, we got to get out of our feelings for what need to be done. You know what I'm saying? Before I let this ship sink, and I put $5,000 into this business, and we losing money. Before my 5 turns into 10, because I'm going to my savings and stuff, at some point I probably need to say, listen, let's be smart about going further. Like I said earlier, if we sell a certain product, that's probably my favorite to do or whatever, but that's what everybody wants.
That's what's making the money.
Yeah. I might want to just get out of my feelings, right? So we got to actually sit here and make sure that we're not losing something to try to keep something that's not really going to be beneficial.
Sustainable.
Exactly.
Right.
You want to avoid analysis paralysis. That's a big problem of mine. I overanalyze and I sit here like, man, I can't do this. I can't do that. We're talking about psychological aspects. We talk about how to balance risk and reward. You overthink everything. I overthink a lot of stuff.
I do the same thing.
And I get in my own way with doing that. So you say, hey man, if you're telling me you do that, why are you also telling me how to balance reward and avoid certain stuff? Because most of the time, even when I did that, more times than often, it protected me. Now, if I missed out on stuff, absolutely.
Right.
I didn't buy that stock. I didn't invest in this and all that kind of stuff. It turned out great. But a lot of times, my discernment done protected me. Well, I ain't lose a lot of stuff either. But we got to be realistic again. Got to have some kind of metric in place, something to help you kind of navigate where you don't get in your way. And also, guys, you want to try to develop some kind of resilient mindset. Well, when I say resilient mindset, we talked about the show last week about raising resilient kids. Understand you're gonna take losses. Understand you're gonna be uncomfortable. Understand you're gonna have pain. and everything like that. I understand that you have to be realistic about, hey, we got to go through some kind of storm.
Right.
We got to go through some kind of storm. I'd have had clients leave me. I'd have had people leave me. I'd have had people take my damn clients from me, that work with me and all that other kind of stuff. I'd have had chicks leave my salon, get a damn salon, 3 damn doors down and stuff like that. Hey, listen, we're going to fight. We're going to fight for the day. We're going to fight for life.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you got to sit here and do that. I done had all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you got to be prepared. Like, okay, it happened. It hurt. How long we going to sit here and dwell on?
Right. You got to move. Got to move on. Yeah. What you say? 48 hours.
48 hours.
And get up and get going.
I can't wait.
Right.
I gotta go get my money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you have to actually have that thick skin, have that mindset. Like, look, okay, it hit you, it hurt, but we're gonna dwell on that, or we're gonna dwell on look how we're gonna fix it.
You know, in this business, I sit back and I try to come up with ideas, and I come up with an idea about something, and then 2 weeks later, I see somebody else doing the same thing. And it kind of hurt my feelings. Like, man, I took a long time to think this up. All you did was watch our page and came up with the same, you know what I'm saying? And took the idea.
Or they might have had it already, but the thing of it is, you got to say how long you going to dwell on that.
Right. I get it. Right. I get it. And that 48 hours is what I do now because, man, it used to burn me up sometimes. It used to burn me up. I'm not going to even lie. It'd be stewing.
Man, brother, it's ridiculous. How many people, I won't say ridiculous, but how many people every year start a new tax business?
Right.
Everybody want to get into it and everything. We're doing it. Everybody
get $77,000 back in 24 hours.
Yeah. They give out ridiculous proposals and they charge ridiculously cheap price.
Right.
I can't compete with it.
Right.
And I'm not. I know what I need to do. Right. I know what I want, and I keep it there and stuff. So you can't really trip too tough on things. Like that's life.
Yeah.
And I think the more you can kind of get yourself in your mindset to like, okay, cool, these are the things I might deal with. If it happens, how do we learn from how we move forward and keep it going? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think if you want to go down that road of entrepreneurship and be able to sustain everything and be there, I think you'll be okay. If you learn, very most importantly, how to balance, risk and reward. Because like I said, you can't have, $1 million expectation, $1 million dreams with $1,000 effort. Right? Like that's just real.
Right. I get it. Right.
Man, I'm just saying.
You know how many people have an idea, have some kind of product that they're selling, and they think that just posting it is gonna get it sold. Like I hate to come back to social media, but that's the era we live in now. That's what we live in now. So just posting and think, okay, let me sit back and watch the money roll in.
Okay, check this out. I'm gonna be transparent with me. At my peak, when I made the most money, and I'm running 5 to 6 businesses, maybe 7, and I'm making bread. We talking about early 30s, mid 30s, something like that. I was the worst father. I was out there making that money, and I was just telling my ex-wife, "You do this, you do that." You know what I'm saying?
You wasn't around because you're busy.
I'm busy.
Right.
And anybody that knows me know how I am with my children.
Right.
The boys with me all the time and everything. But I'm telling you, dog, I was nowhere around because I'm out there getting that money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I say all that to say, people, if you have these aspirations, and I want to do this, I want to go cruising, I want to go, doing these kind of stuff. No, you're gonna pay some dues. I'm just being, when I say I was the worst father, I don't mean I was bad. I don't mean it because I'm just by my
just wasn't available.
I'm very
Right.
I'm very, very involved with my children. But at that point, I was not because you know what I'm saying, I'm missing games. I don't never miss games.
Right.
I'm missing all kind of stuff because I'm out there getting that paper.
Right.
And not that I was so crazy about the paper, but this business need growth. This business need attention. That need attention. You know what I'm saying? Everything wasn't actually doing well, but I'm talking when I was making money.
Right.
Really doing well.
Right.
I was totally absent from my family. I probably about to say wife. This, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hell, I was getting fat as hell because I wasn't working out like I mean,
right.
you know, like it's a lot of stuff that I really
that you were sacrificing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, because I'm out here doing this kind of stuff. So we start talking about that balance of risk and reward. If you want to get here, like, hey man, you got to pay some dues. And could I have done it better and did things where it wouldn't have been that way? Absolutely.
Right.
But it's still a sacrifice because now I have them experiences and mature about certain stuff, and I got more knowledge. Yeah, I can say that. But I'm talking about when I was out there banging and booming, bro. Personally and stuff like that. Hey, I wasn't down. I wasn't down, man. Yeah. I'm out here getting this contract, getting that contract, growing this. Make sure these folks here. Oh man, they see, you know, they you know, make sure, you know, I'm putting 500 people's asses. You know, make sure they out there making that money for me. All that stuff had to happen, and the family just was, you know what I'm saying,
dwindling away.
Absolutely,
right,
absolutely, man. So I really want people to understand that when you start talking about going next level and doing certain stuff, you gotta be prepared for that. That doesn't mean you have to neglect your family or neglect your health, but you have to be realistic about the actual sacrifice and the commitment you're going to have to get to a certain level. That's real talk.
Right.
And if you're not willing to do that, don't just stay at your job. I'm just saying.
Right.
I do feel like most times people get in business, they just want a raise up promotion or probably some more autonomy.
Right.
Like they
a little bit more freedom.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Instead of getting up at 6 o'clock to bed, where they can get up at 9 and just be there when they get there.
Exactly. Don't like that supervisor or like certain co-workers and stuff. But you start coming in all that other stuff hanging. Most folks don't. I don't think they want that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even think most people when they start business think that far ahead. Don't think about all those risk reward things. They don't. I mean,
you know why they don't stay in business?
We talking about business. Why we talking about negative? This business is gonna be a success. I don't want to say negative. Why we talking about risk? There's no risk. This is all reward.
Hey, numbers gonna be numbers. And I always say that, man.
Right.
What's the late Clarence Fund? You said all the time on that documentary, it's life by numbers. And I've always felt that way. You can sit here and forecast, project, and stuff like that. Get out your feelings. Cause what we can't get, we can get some money back. We can't get that time back.
Right.
And most of the time, you ain't gonna be able to get that money back.
Especially depending on how much you done sacrificed.
You got to be smart about that, guys. So you know, man, it's been a great discussion. I appreciate everybody tuned in and getting a nice show. We talked about how to balance risk and reward in business. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. If you came in late, came in a different time, make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. That's Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the video in its full entirety and take advantage of all the other 1,000 videos on the YouTube channel. We got an active grants playlist with over 150 different grant opportunities for you guys to take advantage of. Definitely go there, check everything out. And again, guys, I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I love, appreciate all the love and support. Make sure you tune in to Mother Misfits Radio and TV family. Check out all that, all the different shows and all the other platforms that are on Misfits Radio and TV. But again, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. See you guys there. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.